to welcome you once again. For those in the room, please join us. You can't use the screen there because of the internet connection. But once you join, you'll be able to follow through in everything. Just to remind you again, if you can share your screen, that would be great for the online experience. And yeah, so I'll just like to welcome Graham Muhanga. I don't know if he's in this call to greet you, so that Rodgers can take it home once we start. He's trying to connect. He's looking for his mic. Yes. But I hope everyone is good. Welcome, Jack. Welcome, Michael, Harrison, Dabo, Daniel, Kiplagat. Share with your friends. These people can join from anywhere. Welcome, Ayub, Ken, Martin, David, Hilai, Kennedy, Omar, Leonard, Chris, Masambu, Nicholas, Saidi, Calvert, and Josephat. If you're joining us, this is a second session for Module 2 on the Google side. We already covered all the Africa stocking modules for the last 3 weeks, but we also cover them again starting this Thursday, so don't miss. And the videos are on YouTube in case you're wondering, and on the event blobs. If you go to the specific event, you'll find all the recordings. And also we started seeing projects coming live, which we have shared on our socials. So feel free to retweet, share, and if you have questions, we have Slack channel where you can join, interact with the experts. They're always there during a question. And happy coding. So Graham, if you can join us.
Hi everyone, I hope you can hear me. You had a wonderful weekend. Doing anyway, so I hope you can hear me. If you can't hear me, let me know, maybe on the comments. Rodgers, I hope you can hear me. Okay, so just an update, doing well. To encourage you, if you see our posts online, you can like, you can share, you can retweet them. We are working on the social media awards. We should be able to share those, even if it's going to take us up to November, because we have to do a few processes here and there for the reward, the money. So keep, sharing, retweeting, etc. If you are joining and you want to know what we've done in the past, we'll also be sharing those on the event page. When you see the event page, when you look through it, you should be able to see some of the events. We'll also probably just send it to you on your email. A few, maybe one each event is done. Also, if you are in a different country that is not, we've not yet done a physical event, like do a physical event, please let us know. We'll be able to facilitate you, as with us what you want to do, even if it's just a hurdle to join this training. So welcome. I would like to invite Rodgers with the training.
Thank you so much, Graham. Thank you so much, Michael. Yes, welcome to another session. I think it was a long weekend, trying also to digest what we learned. And I'm also so sure that you are also thinking on applications to build to actualize on what we have learned so far. Okay, so today, the second session for the second module, we're going to look on AI logic, Firebase AI Logic SDKs. Let me share my screen from this side so we continue. Okay. Yes, hope my screen is visible from your end. Okay, thank you. Firebase AI Logic SDKs helps you to enhance your whether you're building a mobile application or a web application. It helps you build the backend logic using the generative AI. Meaning, if you want to include generative AI, whatever you're building at the backend, Firebase AI Logic SDKs comes into your help. Of course, it's part of generative AI. So it's part of the way we have also done for other modules for Firebase extensions. Also, Firebase AI Logic SDK is part of the generative AI. So I think this is not a new concept to us. What makes it really powerful is because whatever the model produces at the backend, we are able maybe to capture that as a JSON file, or as an image, or an audio, or plain text. Yeah, you can see here the families of course, of Gemini models acting within the middle. And we can either we have two kind of APIs. You can use Gemini Developer API, which you don't need to pay for it. Maybe if you are, if it will reach a point, maybe if your tasks are so high, and then it will prompt you to upgrade. But it's generally free for developers, for testing and other stuffs. If you are building for enterprise level, you can use directly Vertex AI Gemini API, which is basically linked to billing accounts. This is where we are, Firebase AI Logic, and of course it supports several SDKs. We have SDK in Flutter. If you are building an application in Flutter, you have the opportunity to use Firebase AI Logic, or if you are building for web, it's SDK server for React, JavaScript, and all that. We have so many SDKs. And of course, our Firebase AI Logic is either going to interact with Vertex AI API or Developer API, which I've just mentioned. For example, this is a code snippet on what happens, maybe how you can use, though this one is for Flutter. If you are building an Android application or a mobile application, you can initialize your Firebase application, and then you start using Firebase AI Logic right away. You can see here what's happening. For example, these are a sample snippet, but you can see here we initialize our model. We initialize our model, and then of course, we create an instance of a prompt that we want to use, maybe write a story about a match backpack. And of course, we will have to catch that response. Yeah, if you have dealt with Flutter before, I think this is so familiar to you. Of course, yeah, as I said again, Firebase AI Logic brings an easy way to use generative AI in our backend. Okay, and of course, it also has audio capabilities, meaning you can create a live audio application using Firebase AI Logic. I think that one we're going to see in our practical. Yes, and now we proceed to the demo. So, but before that, let me go to the documentation. Let's see what the documentation says about Firebase AI Logic. Let me send the link for the documentation on the chat section. In case you don't have it, it's on the chat. Okay, so as I said, Firebase, we have several SDKs for Firebase AI Logic. There is SDK for web. If you are building for the web, you can see there is instruction here. You can build for Kotlin, Java, and also there is an SDK for that, which is for Flutter. So you can build both for web and mobile application, whichever the application which you're working on. So you have the capability to use Firebase AI Logic. So let me also come here. I want to believe all of you have, of course, from the previous sessions, we have created a Firebase console. But if you have not, if you don't have a Firebase console, you can just come here to this link and click on open a new tab. Of course, you will have access to a new console. Today let me create a new project because I want us to see what goes in every step. I'm going to create a new Firebase project. Today, let me call it Firebase. Okay, this is okay. So I'll continue. Yes, enable Google Analytics. I don't need analytics for now. Just continue. Right, as it's opening that project, you can see, I want us to see some code snippets on what goes on if you are working, for example, on web. So the first thing you need to do is to install your Firebase. Firebase CLI is one which is going to enable you for communication with the Firebase console. And then you will have to initialize your project with Firebase. This is the code snippet, but I want us to see what's happening here on how we can, connect our Firebase AI Logic with our application. Okay, so generally here is we want to initialize our Gemini Developer API backend. So we are creating an instance for that, and we are telling it to communicate with our Google AI backend. And of course, here we want to initialize also the model, the kind of the model we are going to use is Gemini 2 Flash. You can also use other model if you are, there's Gemini 2.5 Pro. So many families of Gemini models, but today we can use these. Yeah, so once you have created an instance for this model, you can send prompt to the model and get requests and get responses. Here we can wrap it. Now we want to create. Generally, what they are doing here is they want to send a prompt to our model, and now they're creating a function to do that. They are wrapping it under a function, and you can see here is the prompt. For example, write a story about this. And then once you send the prompt, of course, we expect for the result. So we are going to catch that result using this model. We pass the prompt. Once we get that, we catch that using response. Of course, our response will be the results.response. Yeah, basically, this code here is just for sending a prompt, and then also, of course, fetching the response from the backend. Basically, that's what we're going to cover. And of course, I will showcase some, one or two projects on which are already done using Firebase AI Logic for SDKs. Right, so I want to share the repo. The repo we are going to work with, let me share the link. Yes, we are going to work with this repo. So I will just share this repo on chat section. There you have it. Okay, so I will just go ahead and clone the repo as well I can download. So whichever way, the best. So you can clone the repo. I can copy this URL. It has already downloaded, so I can just go ahead and fetch it from here. And of course, I will have to switch my screen. Just a moment. Okay, let me switch my screen. All right, hope my screen is visible from that end. Yeah, so this is the repo we are working on. If you have cloned the repo, this is of course it has so many other services, but you are going to use this AI React app. This is what you are going to use. But before that, let me also, we were creating a project, so let me see where we are exactly. So I've created a project. This is a project I've created for, Firebase AT. You can see from this side, let me close this, where is Firebase Logic? Supposed to appear here, but let me try to switch. Let me fetch the exact link for Firebase AI Logic SDK. To enable that, you need to, just a moment, I fetch the link. Okay, let me copy the link and paste the link over here. Let me first switch. I have a new this project. Let me just paste this link here so it can take me direct to where it is. No, not here it is. It's not link. I want to share this console. It should bring you to this page. I'm working on this project. Yeah, it should bring you this Firebase AI Logic. When I go directly from the link, I'm able to locate this. Let me try to maybe send this link. Let me send this link to wait, I've opened so many windows. All right, I got here. So I'm sending this to the chat as well. It's a fast way of locating the Firebase AI logic. You can see it's a new feature here. So this is what you are going to use. Of course, you click on Get Started, and it will prompt you to enable to choose for you the API we are going to use. As I said again, we will go for this one, Gemini Developer API. So we get started. It will ask you to enable this. terms of services, of course, it will take some time to initialize that. Okay, as it's initializing, maybe I take, if there's someone who don't have access, it's not located where we can find Firebase AI SDKs, feel free to post on the chat section. Okay, it's no question. You can see yeah, it's okay. We enable monitoring, which is very okay. And then I can, taking some time. Of course, I want to add this to, I want to start a web application, so I can just click it from here. I give it my application. It's a web app we are going to work with. So I will give it a name, just a way of, let's be like this. I think that's easy to. Okay, also taking some time to initialize. Yeah, so once you do this, it will give you some configurations on which now you will take to your application. As we have been doing, we have to copy this and take it to our application. Maybe I can copy this now, or else if you don't want to copy it, you can later find it here on the other side, but let's continue to finish the setup. So it takes us to this. Okay, so we have opened a Firebase project. We have enabled the AI logic, and then under that logic, we have created a Firebase a web application. Yeah, and now we start building. We can now get, we go to, if maybe if you didn't capture the configuration files, I'm sure you can find it from here. Oh, let's see. Under apps here, you are able to catch these configurations, and then this is the configurations we are taking to our application: the API key, authentication domain, project ID. All this we are going to take to our local application. I just copied this. I go to my VS Code. Yeah, as I said again, we are going to work with the repo inside here, AI, under AI section, React application. This is where we are going to work. So under source, you will find configuration folder. Under configuration, this you will replace this one with what you copied from the other side. Paste this because this is what I'm using currently. So yeah, these are the configurations. What is this? Oh, I copied wrongly. I'm supposed to copy from here to here. So yeah, this is what we are going to use. So I can click on this and save. And once you have done that, we need to install our dependencies. But before that, maybe I explain what's going on here. Of course, this is, we have copied our Firebase configurations on our app. This will enable our application to communicate with Firebase. And if you come here, the source services, we see Firebase AI services, and this is basically, to create the logic for our application to communicate with the Firebase SDK, AI SDK. So we are using, you can see the configurations here, and we are initializing our Firebase app. Yep. So I will, without much ado, I will just go proceed and make sure you are on AI React app as a working directory. And then we install now our dependencies or our configurations. So we can just run this command, yarn. We are using yarn for. Let me also increase fonts. I think this is enough. Yeah. So once we have run that command, you can see it's my packages are already there. So I think I did that before. We now want to start the server. We can run this command, and then for us to start the server, and you can see the server has opened on this. So if I go on this local server, I'm expecting to, yeah, this is the application. This is how it looks like. Of course, it's a basic application that demonstrates on how you can use Firebase AI Logic. Of course, it has all the functionalities. It just has the basics that we need. Of course, it should work. It should be working. Yeah, you see, if I send a response, able to get a response. Yeah, so I can communicate with my Firebase AI Logic and then you get, get a feedback or a response. So, and also you can see it has, here we can demonstrate different capabilities of chat, image generation, and of course, live API. If you can go live, I mean, if you can speak for audio live conversations. So yeah, it's working. You can give it a prompt, and then it gives a response. Maybe give 5 random fields, and then I run this. I'm able to get a response. Very correct. And of course, I can also generate an image. Let me use maybe generate image of a dog. I run this. Oh, I her fetching image API. Okay, actually for images we can't work with free developer API. We need to, it's only accessible to build users. So okay, I've not linked my Firebase project to billing. Okay, the way we used to do before. So what I can do is, let me use the project which is linked. I think the previous project is linked to the billing account. So meaning I will have to change the configurations of my application. I can just come pick, instead of now I will have to change this configuration to this. Let me copy this, take it to my application. Over here, users, assets, configurations, Firebase. Need to change this to my current one. Yeah. Okay, I will save this. But I know for your case, we opened new project, Firebase project before, and we linked it to billing account. So in case you are having any trouble on that, let me know. So I will just terminate this and run again so that it picks the current. Okay, just come and refresh. Let me test if it's working. Yes, it's communicating. Now we try generating image. Let's see if it works. Yeah, it works. Now it's able to generate images. You can generate any other images. Maybe here we have suggestions we can try. Impression of painting of a sunflower field at sunset. Let's see, taking some time to generate. Yeah, finally it works. So you can see we have tested it for chat. We are able to send text, and also it's able to generate images. And also for audio, for live conversations, I can just come here and maybe start is, hello. Okay, I'm here with Africa's Talkings developers. Maybe you can say hi to them. Okay, I think now you can see like the Firebase for live conversation is working. Generally, this, oh, let me post this. Yeah, it's working, meaning you can create live conversations. You can work with images. You can work with chat. Yep. Maybe I pause here and see if there is question on chat. Yes, hello. Did I get lost somewhere? Maybe my network?
I can hear you.
Okay. I think I saw a blank screen and I thought my internet had an issue. Yeah, so another chat section, there's no question. Maybe if someone has a question on what has been going on, maybe someone having issue creating a Firebase project or connecting or enabling the Firebase AI SDK logic. Okay, and now let me, of course, this is the best one which is provided by the documentation. You can go ahead and build projects, depending with your use case. And I also want to share a project which is for e-commerce. Let me stop sharing this for a moment. I'm dropping a link for the specific projects created. Okay, this for e-commerce, and then we have one for nano. copying this and pasting over here. All right. Let me share my screen as well. Okay, we are able to see my screen. This is a sample project created by my colleague, Wayne Gakuo. He created an e-commerce website, and with the backend logic integrated with Firebase AI Logic SDK. It's built on Angular JS. You can see it's demonstrating on how we can build for e-commerce if we want to integrate a chat system and that interact with our website, and also is able to give support to our clients. For example, you can see here there's a chat window, and I can just maybe try to talk to it or just ask it. For example, I'm a user and I want to check, can I get a laptop? Yeah, so it should be able to know the products I have. For example, it has checked here and it has said, yes, I have the PowerBook Laptop Pro available for 194,000. And if you look here, you can see it has really provided clear information, correct information about that particular product. So if you had so many laptops, it will be listing here. And maybe we try to ask one question. Is our products available? It will know how many products are available on the website, and it's able to list. You can see here it has listed all the products available. And on the part of the functionality side, is it able to maybe add product to cart, checkout, or delete? Maybe let's say I want to buy a laptop. Let me buy this laptop. So let's buy this laptop. We get this. Okay, laptop has been added to your cart. I'm sure here, if you see here, we have +1, meaning all the functions, like the normal functions of an e-commerce website, meaning you can use Firebase Logic SDK for that, and you can also clear the cart even from this chat section. Okay, it's a card clear, the card's cleared, and also here you can see it cleared the card. Yeah, so depending with your use case, you are not limited on how you can use. And the way let me also share maybe the source code for this. We look at the source code on what's happening. Just a moment, I grab the link. It's the link. Okay. Got it. I'm also sharing. Let me share actually the links on chat as well. This is the link for the application. Let's look at the repo and see what's happening at the repo side. So this is the source code. is using AngularJS, so we can come to source under environment. I'm sure here is for linking the application the way we have done. You link your Firebase project with their application, and then here on services, application services, you can see the AI services. This way now he has linked all the logic on what's supposed to happen. Sorry. On what's supposed to open on the project side in terms of functionalities. You can see here there is something like get a product. There is also something like get number total product, meaning you can always link all the functionalities to different routes. So basically that's what's happening here. And of course we see is using Gemini 2.5 Flash as a model. Okay. Yeah, basically that's it. You have access to the repo. Let me share this repo as well so that you can go and navigate on what Wayne has done. Another also live project we can see is this one, Anano project. It's also developed by my friend Wayne. It's for, the idea of helping, small scale or business do Photoshop photo shoot for their products they want to sell. Yeah, and it has some few functionalities, and it's also linked to Firebase AI Logic at the backend. So I'm going to try this. Maybe I have a photo I want to upload. Let me upload my photo here. Select it's a studio, like I want a studio photo with a contrast product shot, reflective of the service. I can generate that. What's happening? Oh, it didn't view the image. Let me see. Let's generate. Maybe let's select a different image. I don't know why that one is not working well. Maybe it's too big. I'm not sure. It's generating the image. Okay. You see, it does some photo shots here, some photo shoots, depending with what you want. You can also give instructions. Always select different, different results or different configurations, and you are able to generate here. So that's also another use case that I see. An example of a use case, of course. The reason for demonstrating this is we are not limited, to what we can achieve. You can always think outside the box. For example, if you want to integrate with other APIs, for example, Africa's talking APIs, you can integrate voice with the Africa's talking, and also SMS as well, because it's text. It supports text, yeah. Yeah, I think those are few samples, and actually for today's session it was not that long. You can also ask questions so that I'm able to answer if there's somewhere you are experiencing a blocker, so I'm able to unblock maybe. Yeah, let me check on the chat section, see if there's a question. Okay, no questions so far. Okay, I think I will give this chance to, if someone wants to unmute and say something, because generally we have covered today's topic on Firebase AI Logic SDKs. It was that short. It was not with so many things. Yeah, maybe if you have a question, want to unmute and also say something. Okay. Question on how we can customize responses in such a way that references our database for context. Quick question, how can we customize responses in such a way that it references our database for context? Okay. Communicating with the database. What it simply mean you want to customize the SDK for it to communicate with the database. Remember, the SDK logic helps you to create a logic, meaning you can communicate with the database. For example, here, what's happening here, for example, in this e-commerce section, these products are in the database. And of course, the SDK is communicating with the database to retrieve the results. For example, let's maybe thinking it this way. For us to access the database, for example, we have a function for accessing a database. And then here we have an SDK, which is able to communicate with that function. For example, what's here, it has done here, it's our SDK is able to communicate with a function to get all products from our database. That's why we are able to get all the products from this, because our SDK is communicating with get products. If you look at the repo, when we go with that repo, I said there's so many there's, let me look here. Under application, we have AI services. We have services under AI services. Okay, here there's a function declarations. We have a function for getting a total number of products. We have a function for getting get products. This one is to get, the description is to get an array of products with the name, prices, and of each product. We have a function to clear carts the way we demonstrated, like we can clear carts by just a prompt. And also we have a function to add to carts. Assuming you have also a function for payment, you have a function for payment, you can also include that here. And then this function now are going to communicate with our modules. I don't know where those modules are exactly on this repo. But if you come to products and services here, so what's instant manually, but the concept is still there. Yeah, basically, our AI logic is able to communicate with functions, and those functions are able now to communicate, with the database or another service within a backend. Yeah, that's how best I can explain that. I don't know if Leonard, your question is answered well.
Yes. Although I have a follow-up question, the
Okay.
reason the reason why I asked is because there are some scenarios where you want to figure out how the model is responding in such a way that first it looks up your data before it even goes to, kind of trying to figure out the response itself. So on that particular part, I'm still kind of trying to figure out how it prioritizes communicating directly from, first of all, your database and responding to your prompts, uh, considering first your data, then before it trying to resolve to maybe reasoning by itself. Does it make sense?
Okay, I'm trying also to understand your question. You want to understand first on the response from the model, and then you know how that response is going to interact with your application.
Yeah, let me give you an example. Say I'm building for an organization a chatbot to respond to customer questions, right?
Yes.
I can have I can prescribe kind of general responses that I'd like the model to respond directly from my own kind of FAQ. But then again, there's also reasoning beyond what I provide, right? So maybe the question is out of the scope of what is within my database. So does it go beyond to figure that out, or it's mostly like just interacts with what I provide in terms of the context from my database?
Okay, I think it's also where we test here. Let's test this on, maybe we don't prompt what's in here. Uh, what what can I prompt? Maybe let me ask weather for Nairobi. Okay. This is the same thing like we are asking. For example, here have asked something which is totally irrelevant from what's provided. I'm sorry, I cannot tell you whether in Nairobi capability is limited to uh, this. Okay, what I understand about models, you can always provide system instructions on depending on your business area. For example, if I only want to answer questions only related to finance, you can provide system instructions. And for this repo, I don't know where the exact system instructions are provided. For example, here you see it's not able to answer anything outside, products and cart area. So if maybe we look here at the repo, services, AI services, maybe see if there is system instructions for the model. Yeah, services, you're right. This is okay. You see, these are the system instruction. Yeah, exactly. You see, the system instruction here says you are a superstar agent for this e-commerce store. You will assist users by answering questions about inventory and this and this. Of course, we are using a general model which is able to answer anything outside the box, outside your business area. So you have to limit it. We have to limit it with system instructions within that. And you see here, um, the currency, you give it all that you need. The currency is in Kenyan shillings. All that is able to understand the system, like the confined area is supposed to answer question on. Yeah, I'm not sure if Ronaldo have answered your questions, if this is what you are asking specifically. But yeah, models normally have system instructions on specific areas to answer questions on. I'm also trying to think on, for example, if you have a database with documents and you need your model just to answer from those documents or from that data, there is a way, but not in this use case, of course, in a different use case, applications that are built before using Dialogflow CX agents, but also in this, for this, I think only system instructions can work. Yeah, but either way, you can always explore and see, the different capabilities of it.
I think I see line 82. Is it are there prescriptions around that particular code block from line 82?
Line 82 from here. Okay, this is now dealing with the logic side of the function. You can see here, there's a now the functions which we initialize, you can see here, for example, get total number of products. We are catching the number of products here. We are catching the number of products here. Of course, in this case, it didn't have a database. I see the products, initialize the products manually on this section. But here now is the functions now doing the logic side of getting, maybe if it's the function to get the total number of products, or to clear cards. Yeah, depending with the response.
Yeah, I think I kind of understand, because I can tell from there possibly the responses are being triggered from what they have under product service, especially when you have that case of a prompt with get products. So maybe it go instead of the database, it's trying to get from that. Maybe is it an array of data or a JSON?
It's JSON. Let's look again. I'm also interacting with the repo today. Yeah, it's a JSON data.
And I think possibly the model is trying to work within those constraints of when you ask that prompt, it tries to generate a result from that particular service. But anyway, I think I get what you have said. I'm curious though on implementation beyond just the limitations of what you provide in terms of the data. If it can happen to escape beyond the scope of what you give, and also kind of answer smartly like the way AI does. But yeah, pretty much I understand what you have.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, of course, even me, I'm also trying to understand like all the limits of it can achieve in terms of functionalities. I think I can extend more and more if you understand it very well. Yeah, it's interesting thing actually to really look at it on, and also explore more. Okay, let me also look for another question. Just curious. Is the Firebase AI SDK similar to any SDK that's responsible for making calls to your LLMs? Something like Google Gen AI, Go, or GenKit SDK can some additional features. Is it the same as other SDKs for? Okay, if sometimes if you think about, you might think it's similar because we have also other SDKs, for example, generative AI SDKs, or Genetic SDK. I think for this, if we come here to, where is that link for Firebase AI Logic? Not this one. Let me look for that link. If I answer that question correctly, I can only say that it provides extra features. These are the features. For example, if you want to, maybe if, of course, we have different SDKs that can work on different languages, but it has upcheck. I haven't used it before, but it has upcheck to protect your resources. And then, of course, now that it's from the Firebase side, it's very easy to integrate within your project. And of course, in the interaction with the cloud, because it's from Firebase, it's able to interact easily with your cloud resources, and also interaction with Vertex AI. All that integration in a unified platform. Okay. Yeah, I'm also not able to answer that questions how much different it is. But what I'm able to answer right now is it has some extra features, and of course, it some kind provides all the unified services that you need at one place, so that you are able to work easily. That's how I can answer it. But I'm so sure we have also other SDKs. For example, the general SDK for generative AI. I can also send an image to an SDK for generating an image other than using Firebase AI Logic. Yeah. Thank you, Emilio. Hopefully, you can also go explore more. Actually, hopefully, I've partly answered your question.
That's great. Nitaangalia documentation.
Okay, sawa.
Thank you.
Firebase AI versus VS Code with Copilot. Which one is the best for vibe coding applications? Okay, Onyango, I think I'm not able to answer this question. First of all, I think you are referring to Firebase AI Studio. Firebase AI Studio for vibe coding. To give the best one, it depends on how you use it. I understand both of them they are from different companies, but if in your case you should be looking at maybe what you want to use, because in Firebase AI Studio are able to vibe code and host the applications easily just by hosting on Firebase, or just pushing your application to cloud right away. And of course, I have other connections, like I can use Firebase hosting or Firestore as a database, within one area. So yeah, but it depends with what you are good at. And of course, now that Firebase is on web, it's very easy to have access to, like, the environment. You don't have to worry about the environment. The environment is already configured for you. You don't have to worry about so many dependencies. Yeah, but in general, it depends. But for me, I find Firebase Studio working well for me. But also, Copilot can work well in your use cases. Yeah, it depends on how you can use your tool. Okay, there's also, hopefully, Onyango, I've answered your question. There's also a question from, oh, it's an answer. Actually, I think, Leonard, you can look at the chat section. There's someone who has answered you. Okay, I think it's answering you on, yes, it can happen to have custom data by implementing your organization vector databases or Google vector search. Yeah, I think it's answering you on how far we can stretch the SDK functionality side. Okay. Okay, I think that's it for today. If there's no another question, I can't wait to see what you're gonna be using the Firebase AI SDK. You know, can always think outside the box. You know, test on the limits on the application you can do if you want to interact with external APIs. How far can it interact, or how efficient can it interact with external APIs? Yeah, I think that's it I can say for now. I want to hand it over to Graham if he has something to say, but I think from my end, that's all I had to present for today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for attending my session. And if you have been attending my sessions previously, thank you so much. Till next time. Thank you.
All right. I hope you can hear me. Yeah. Thank you very much, Rogers, for the wonderful presentation. I think I can see Mr. Josephat Mwangi live in Joburg. Was there Tabo? Tabo, are you here? Was Tabo here? You guys need to meet and drink tea. Tabo, you need to meet Josephat. He's in Joburg. Wait, Tabo. Is Tabo here?
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know if you guys can hear me.
He can hear you, man. You guys. So Tabo, you need to meet Josephat. Josephat is like running our Nairobi community. And he's doing great. He's having. He has a. Maybe he can tell you about himself. But before he tells you about
Fantastic.
himself,
Am I meeting you just right on Thursday?
you can tell
Yeah.
him where that hangout is. But before you guys continue this camaraderie, let us congratulate Rogers. Rogers is a wonderful job. I think we have enjoyed, and personally, I've learned a few things. I'm, of course, looking forward to seeing you play with Gemini CLI. I don't know who will do that for us. I have a few, I think it has a few bugs, guys. For example, when I try to log in, if it fails to log into my browser, through my browser, it should give me the link, just like other Google services. You know, like the way you try to log into Firebase, it can give you the link to run in a browser, right? So I don't see Gemini doing that. So because of that, I have not even started to test it. So Chief, that's what Gemini, we need to compete to check if it can compete successfully with Cloud Code. But apart from that, all the work that Rogers has done will be able to share it with you. And then, guys, you should be working on your projects. We will be, I think there's only one guy who gave us this project, which we shared. And there will be swag for every project that's completed and you share with us. So I know we didn't ask for this for the last class that Rodgers ran. So if you're already building something that you want to share, please, Sylvia will tell you how to post those finished projects. You can post them here, and then we'll be reviewing them, and we schedule you for swag. Also, if you are completing your badges, guys, also I think you can share, maybe Sylvia or MK will share the link here. Complete your badges, because as you complete your badges, we'll also be preparing to ship for you the swag. Apart from that, very nice to see you guys. Tabo and Leonard and Josephat, you guys should be connecting. But back to you, MK.
Thank you so much, Graham. That was a nice session, Rodgers. It's been great. Just preparing people. Number one, I can see Philip is asking where are the previous sessions. So previous session, as I started saying, is you can get them from the previous events or YouTube, Africa's Talking YouTube. You'll find the Google AT program playlist. All of them are there. And they're uploaded within 24 hours, including this one. It will be uploaded there. So check it out. Also, since last week, most of the sessions are streamed on all social media, including LinkedIn and X and YouTube. You can also catch up there and ensure that you're reaching out through the Slack URL, which I shared earlier, because all the experts are there for the already concluded session and the upcoming session. So if you have any question, reach out. Remember, this project is running between now and December. Therefore, you're welcome to start building. If you're continuing building, also keep sharing your project for feedback, as well as to win the prizes, so that you enjoy the experience. More so, we want to equip you with the skills to build on the AI or with AI that will equip you in the modern frontier of technology. So see you on Thursday, same time, online. And if you want, you can actually share the Thursday event with your network. We also have some material that are going around. So ensure that you're sharing that and enjoy. So until next time, if you want to stay back and enjoy music for the next 30 minutes, feel free. But for now, I'll keep you until 4:50 or 4 or 6 or 5. So feel free to ask any question you have. Thank you so much and have a good evening.
I've connected Josephat and Tabo on email.